Aloha, y'all. Welcome back to the Socially Awkward Chef. In the spirit of making quick and easy comfort food, I thought that today we would do a beef stroganoff, which was one of my favorite things that my Nana used to make back when I was a kid. Let's get started. You first do want to get a pot of water ready to boil your egg noodles, which we're going to use as our base for our beef stroganoff. Get whatever brand that you like. And as you can see here, I have about 1.5 pounds of thinly sliced, I have top sirloin here, but you can use ribeye or even chuck would be good. So we're slicing that about 1/4 inch thick. And then here I have 1 8-ounce package of mushrooms that I just went ahead and cleaned and sliced. And by cleaning them, what I'm doing is I'm using just a paper towel and wiping off any excess dirt, because you don't want to submerge our mushrooms in water, because that can pull water and moisture into your mushrooms and then they won't brown. Moving right along, we also have 2 cloves of garlic that I went ahead and finely chopped. We also have 1 medium onion that we are going to slice up. And we're a couple other things that we're going to be using, one of which is sour cream. We're not going to be using this entire container, so we'll say maybe 6 to 8 ounces. And then also I like to keep on hand bouillon cubes or like these instead of broth. And also things like this, which is basically a bouillon, but just in more of a liquid form. But these I keep in the fridge, and I love them because everything is getting very expensive, and you can have beef broth, chicken, or a vegetarian type broth at your fingertips whenever you need it. So there's my quick little tip for you. Let's get started by cutting up this onion. We're going to take off the top and the bottom. Then cut this in half. We're going to remove this outer layer because it tends to be tough. Let's get these, whoops. So for these, we're going to slice them about somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick. So about there. And I'm going to move these off to a bowl here. I'm losing stuff everywhere. I think earlier I said 1/4 inch. It is about 1/8. Now that we are done with our chopping, we are going to clean up, and we're going to get started by browning our meat. My frying pan has been preheating on medium-high heat and is almost ready to go. So right now I am going to add some salt and pepper to our beef. So a couple of good pinches, about 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon each, salt and pepper. Just give this a little mix. We're going to mix this around, and then we'll fry these up. I'm adding in just a little bit of neutral tasting oil. Give that a swirl. And then I'm going to add in my first batch of meat. And we want to do a single layer. So this will be done in batches. And we're going to cook this about approximately a minute per side. And then I'm going to remove it into a separate bowl. These are looking good, so I'm going to remove these from the heat. And what I'm looking for is both sides to have a nice sear to it. I'm adding in just a little bit more of my oil, and I'm going to keep repeating this until I'm done. And actually check your beef at about the 45-second mark, just to be sure, because we don't want to, we're aiming for crust and not burnt. Now that my beef is done, we're going to add just some more oil. That was about a tablespoon. And then in goes our onions. We're going to let this cook for just 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to add in our garlic. It's been a couple of minutes, and you can see that our onions are getting nice and translucent, and that they've picked up a lot of beautiful color and flavor, most importantly from our beef that was previously getting browned in here. So now let's add in our chopped garlic. Give this a little toss. Let this cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to add in our mushrooms. I also have my water boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my noodles in and cook them to the package directions. In go our mushrooms. Let's add in a good pinch of pepper, as well as salt. Our mushrooms and onions are looking good, so this is completely optional, but I like to add a couple of tablespoons of cooking sherry, dry sherry. If you don't have any, you can use about 1/4 of a cup of white wine, or omit this altogether. Completely up to you. And we're just going to let that cook off for about a minute. The alcohol has evaporated from our onions and shrooms, so it is time to add back in our sliced beef. To that, add about 1 cup of beef broth, as well as we're going to start with about 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. I'm lowering my heat to medium. I'm also going to check on my egg noodles. And we are going to gently incorporate this. And as we go along, we can add more sour cream and or beef broth if it's necessary. Looks like I'm going to need a little more sour cream. My sour cream is just about mixed in, so let me give this a taste and adjust my seasonings as well as drain off my egg noodles. I just gave it a taste and I just think it needs just a tiny bit more salt. I've turned off the heat. My noodles are draining as we speak. Let's get ready to plate this up. Our beef stroganoff is ready to eat, and I cannot wait to tuck into these delicious egg noodles. Just a bowl of comfort food in under 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give a like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, give this recipe a shot. Until we eat again, y'all, aloha. Today, I didn't want to say today because I started everything with today. I have my frying pan set. No, excuse me. I have my frying pan heating on. No, damn it. I have. What? As you can see, we have a bed of as you can see, we have a, oh my gosh. Ugh.